Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Spicy Gamers. I'm your host, Ro Panaganti. I'm so excited to have another awesome band to talk about. So today we're going to be joined by Under the Deku Tree. They're an excellent band and a jazz band based out of Portland, Oregon. You may recognize them from MagWest, Minifest, Level Beer, different kinds of awesome Portland VGM Jazz Jam, SideQuest Fest, and many, many more across the PNW. Recently, they've been releasing a lot of really exciting singles, and they've got an upcoming album they're recording. So whether you've seen them live or you're picking up their album or streaming them for the first time, they're a fantastic group, and I'm really excited to bring on three of their members.
Hi, I'm Max. I play bass for Under the Deku Tree. I'm one of the long-term members at this point over the past 7 or 8 years, and it's great to be on the show. Thanks for having us.
Hi, I'm Soneji. I play the tenor sax in UDT, and I'm also the founder of the band.
My name is Eric. I am the current band leader, and I play alto sax and sometimes trumpet if we need something covered.
Yeah, without further ado, we've got a bunch of hot sauces, but today's going to be kind of fun because specifically it's just going to be me and Eric, so we're going to be diving into the hot sauces. I've got a couple special ones from, I guess, Spicy Gamers itself. Today I'm going to be rocking my own sauces that I've made, including Timely Hero, which is going to be like my first round one, and I'm going to escalate mine as we go up, just to keep it fun and fair. Eric, what are you rocking today?
I'm rocking 4 different ones. I got our lovely No Soap hot sauce from the band No Soap Radio, Chipotle Orange.
Ooh.
And I got Valentina, got it from the fridge, standard.
Mm.
I got some, what was it? Atomic Habanero from Wingstop.
Mm.
And then I have this one we picked up a couple, I want to say a year or two ago. It's called the General's Hot Sauce, Grunt's Green. It looks like a grenade.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm excited. The video game music scene has been around now for over 20, 30 years, depending on who you ask and where you look. That being said, of course, I am new to the Pacific Northwest, to states like Washington and Portland. So how did you all find each other to make this band? And is there something specifically about Portland and its music scene or its jazz scene that helped with that?
Long story short, UDT, essentially, we're all connected by our community college, Mount Hood Community College. We've all went through the program, or a majority of the program. And we've had friends who are like, oh, this cool band that, I play in, or this one group that you should, hit up. And I joined in right after, like, when things started opening up during the pandemic. Originally, I was doing trumpet. I don't main trumpet. It's more like my secondary / like.
Sure.
And I was like, I've had experiences of like wanting to do video game music and do this and that, and I've seen obviously like YouTube videos and like all of this, and I'm just like, I really want to do it, but it's like I don't know how to start it. And then that's where I met Max, Sanj, and I just met everyone in the band, and that's how I started.
Yeah, I was mostly hanging around the Mount Hood area, particularly in the late 2010s. I was playing in a lot of ensembles. I play bass for this group, but my primary was tuba. I also play euphonium, trombone. So just playing around in different ensembles over at Warner Pacific as well. So I was just generally playing and gigging in the area. It was about 7 or 8 years ago now, where Soneji was like, hey, I'm putting together this little video game group, and we don't have a bass player. You want to play bass? I said, why not? And that's essentially, for me, the inception of my time with this group. It's really grown in the time since. It was a very, very different group back.
Not a 9-piece band or
fluctuating. Very much fluctuating.
Yeah, so UDT has had a couple phases. I I'm gonna call like, but before Max was even in the band, before we had UDT, we had a little group called Studio Hood, which is kind of based off of like Mount Hood, because we live right next to it.
Right.
It started out as a group that I just wanted to like pick up and meet at like a convention and just like walk outside.
That's actually really cool. I mean, a lot of people want to get into a convention, but just having the go ahead to just be like, we'll play outside a con would actually be pretty smart, honestly.
Yeah, and then I started again to like some of the older VGM acts, such as like the Consoles and Insane in the Rain.
Of course.
Super Soul Bones.
Yeah, they were like my early influences into like jazz and video games. So I wanted a jazz-oriented group, like almost like a jazz combo. Your standard like rhythm section, maybe 1 and 2 horns. And that's when Max joined in, as well as a couple of our like original members. I think the only one who's still here is Frankie, who's our guitar player.
Yeah,
Max.
So
yeah, that's right.
And with that, I also have to know where the name comes from, because, I mean, obviously, the Deku Tree is like this iconic figure from one of the most iconic games of all time, Ocarina of Time, but Under the Deku Tree, it has like such a smooth feel to it. Is there one person who came up with that, or?
Yeah, that was our first vocalist. Their name is Anna Meyer. They're not with the band anymore, but they're a gigging musician out here in Portland.
Wow.
They're deep in like the soul R&B as well as jazz scenes here.
So this one kind of comes from obviously listening to all your available work, some of the future stuff, and also hearing you live. But I always have like such admiration and fascination with bands that play way more live than I ever could have dreamed. And then arrange like such creative kind of songs, like the way you do Tetris, especially. Just the way you're pulling in, obviously jazz conventions and improvisation, vamping, and so on. But for such a large band, how do you approach it? And especially now that jazz has become such a prominent form of video game music arranging, what do you feel makes it a Deku Tree arrangement or a performance even?
Like a certain sound that our arrangements have, and like you can hear in almost all of them. The best way I can describe it is just it has to hit. You have to feel it, even like as a music, like playing it and hearing it. Yeah, it has to like groove. For me, it's just like finding an idea that like works, and that visually and musically, it like really just it invokes like something that you want to like keep on like oh, it's gotta be like slightly better, like oh, we can do this, and we can like just gets better and better.
Yeah, what makes it an interesting question is that there are about 4 or 5 of us in the group that do the arrangements. Eric and Sanj are the main arrangers for the group, but I do some arrangements. Joey, our drummer, does some arrangements. Our keyboard player, Micah, has been putting together some arrangements. There's multiple different voices in the band, and sometimes that kind of shows itself depending on the arrangement and what we want to like focus on.
How would you characterize like some of the different arrangements? Like what's the thing that'll be like, oh, this is totally like something I would do, or something, Sanj would do, or, so on?
He just completely bypasses the chords and does whatever he wants. In contrast, I really like focusing on some of the orchestration of the horns, on colors, on finding ways to bring some of the original tune into our orchestration as like a translating it into that. It's like we have an arrangement I did of My Time from Omori, and overall it's mostly 1-to-1, but the challenge in it lies with like, okay, well, what's being covered with these violin parts, these this piano part here, the flourishes, and this like the flutes, are these being handed over to saxes, this is being handed over to trumpet. So like interplay of instrumentation is something that I like to focus on personally.
Yeah. Whenever we do an arrangement of saxes, I know that like Max is very intentional with every single note that he writes, and there's always a background to it. So like, I gotta listen to the recordings a million times for me to understand like how he writes everything out, and he goes deep into the iceberg of every song, which is nice.
So one of the things that I have come to really, really love is not just the concept of a jazz jam, where people can come up to a venue. Sometimes it's a bar or just like a really cool place to jam, and a house band will host, share sheet music. And in the case of jazz jams, often they use like a very well-known collection of repertoire. But the VGM Jazz Jam, which has been popping up in places like Raleigh, North Carolina, my old home, as well as New York. I believe DC has their own, and Southern California, if I'm not mistaken. And, of course, PNW has one in Portland. It's been really incredible to see what Under the Deku Tree can do, not just as people who, set up the mics and the speakers and all, but as a hosting band and kind of welcoming hug to this world of Jazz Jam. How do you navigate that, and what do you think a VGM Jazz Jam needs to do to make it like a success and inviting for new people?
This is just from experience from like other jams in town. We try to make it very like anyone can do this, at any level, and we try to make it either as affordable as possible by either making it free or a suggested donation. But we try our best to literally. We actually have a system where you can look at where your queue is. So we are very like, hey, this is what's coming up next. You're gonna be on the next song. Don't worry. Versus, if you go to any other jam, you're like, am I next? Am I not next? I don't know what's happening. And it's we try to not have like elitism and just like just be as welcoming as possible. I think for ours it's Dire Docs.
Dire Docs is the one that comes up a lot.
Interesting.
It's a lot of staples.
Yeah.
Things like Bob on Battlefield, you see get called a lot.
Do you think that has to do with like the age group of attendees too? Because, for me, Bomb on Battlefield, N64, like that's my favorite generation, but I'm like 32. So if your attendees were like 20s, they'd be calling like, I don't know, theme from Roblox or whatever. I don't think that's a real song, but like, yeah, I'm very curious about that.
They tend to call stuff from like Undertale, Deltarune is something you see a lot from that age group.
Is there if you could like override the queue like right now and call a song that you don't think would have otherwise been called? Like just pretend like you're warped into a jam. Is there one that for the three of you comes to mind that would be cool to see people like jam to or solo over? All right.
Sad Freedom.
Which one? Oh, Sad Freedom from...
Sad Freedom.
Treasure Hunter or something.
Treasure Hunter, yeah.
Ooh, what game is that from? Or is that the name of the game?
Yeah, that's Treasure Hunter G.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, now it's hitting. I don't know what you got, but next time I come down to Portland, I'm just going to leave a bunch of hot sauces at your doorstep.
Let's go.
A lot of people in the video game music scene start out as bedroom musicians, and they never see the light of stage. And a lot of musicians end up forming bands, and they never get to see the inside of studios. I think seeing how y'all have done both now, I'm curious what kind of intimidates or excites you about a studio recording compared to playing live, especially when you're working on something as defining and even permanent as an album. Like, what do you think is really crucial to get right in there, or that you want to make sure you do that maybe you don't have to worry about live?
Right now we're doing various like singles that we've been releasing that we went and recorded earlier this year, but the actual process of bringing those recordings and those parts together and getting our engineer to mix it, obviously takes time, but a big aspect of that we're not nearly as worried about when we're playing live is how parts are actually balanced in terms of a recording versus a live performance. Because it's really easy, even with mixing, you can still have things buried or have things in the wrong range, particularly how our keys and guitar balance with each other.
It's a lot easier to hide because like certain sections I can just redo over and over until it's clean.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like if there's a solo that I'm like, oh, that didn't sound good. Let me just redo that solo again. Like just redo it or put something together and stitch it. And
do you wrestle with that like philosophy too? Like I know a lot of people I speak to in the jazz world love the liveliness and maybe like aren't as open to like cuts or redos or tuning or changing solos or whatever. But is that like not?
I was gonna say we're not as opposed to that for like the studio recording stuff because that's more of like the live playing philosophy for when we do shows.
I think it's time for lightning round, and I think I did the math right on how many sauces Eric's got and I've got. We're gonna go ahead and dive into your grenade and mine, and then I'm gonna ask the question, and all three of you are going to basically list off something.
Grenade's not as spicy as I remember. I'm gonna be real.
It won't be the first Spicy Gamers where I die and the guests are like fine. In 2 minutes on the clock, name as many unique video game levels or areas that happen to have a tree in it. Go.
Oh no.
That is a tree. Ocarina of Time.
Yeah,
So,
Kokiri Forest.
There's one. Oh god.
The Field Plaza.
That's another one. There is a tree. Yeah, there's plenty of trees.
It'll be Pianta Village is where all the large trees are on that one, especially the central one.
Oh god. No, I don't know.
I wish I could remember the level. It's chapter 17 of Fire Emblem Awakening. There's a divine tree that's this like world tree of sorts.
I'll give you one. I'll give you a world tree in Sacred Stones.
Awakening.
Just the forest biome in Terraria count.
Yeah.
That counts.
There's trees in there. I distinctly know that one.
Steam Gardens from Mario Odyssey, particularly the underworld level.
The only thing I can think of is Route 216.
Wait,
16.
oh,
It's
wait.
got trees around.
Wait, Route 216 from Pokemon?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
can I
trees
be like
around.
Route 1,
I was gonna say
Route 2,
I would go
Route
with the
3?
turn of forest.
Oh god, oh god. This is
Oh my god, I turned the forest right. Oh my.
I'm gonna
turn
give
of
you one for all the routes in Pokemon because I made a humongous mistake, and one for Eterna because that's one kind of forest. 3,
Millennia and
2,
Maple Story.
1. All right, let's cap it. You successfully named how many? 11 different tree-containing levels of a video game. Super appreciate getting to have y'all on Spicy Gamers to talk about the upcoming singles as well as some really cool other projects. It's been also really cool as part of my band to get to share the stage figuratively at MagWest Minifest and get to see how you all perform. What can folks expect in the future coming up, and where can they get more Under the Deku Tree music?
All of our social medias are Under the DT. We're on Bandcamp, YouTube, all of your social streaming services. We're actually starting to get t-shirts in soon, so that's coming up.
Yeah, I'll definitely want one of those.
And then we have an EP either January or February before we actually finalize everything for our album this summer.
With that,
Thanks so much for having us.
yeah,
Thanks so much.
thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.